Hey, what's going on?
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing good, and yourself?
Okay.
Yeah. You um so hey, with me y'all, with me I have my wife, Fatima. She she fishes, but she don't fish like I do. But
No, I don't.
she started her fishing journey as a little girl, fishing ponds at colleges and yeah, with her dad and her brother. Um we gonna get her story. So, can you share with the people how you first got into fishing?
Well, I got into fishing pretty much based upon what you just said. My dad was always, well, when he got the opportunity, I should say, he
Right.
went fishing, so it was nothing for him to get the buckets ready, old school. When I say buckets, I know people use buckets now, but the buckets ready, the bread, because we fish with bread.
So y'all was fishing with
Um,
bread.
yes,
Okay.
we will.
That's real old school.
Yeah, um, get the bread and the cane poles because that's what we had, back then.
Right.
Um, and so he would, take us as kids, just going on a trip. For us, it was just nice to be away from home. And so he would take us, and our primary spot was the University of Miami.
Okay.
Um, and there's a little spot up in the University of Miami, or should I say, it used to be a spot in the University of Miami, whereas it's like a little, you know, a pond, if you will.
Right.
Um, but we were able to get mullets
So
out of
y'all was
there.
fishing so the targeted species was mullets.
Yes, the target species with mullet or
Okay, so
brims.
so you know, for some of y'all that didn't catch it, they was okay, they was catching brims and they was catching mullets.
Mullet. Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
species that we use, bread. What kind of bread was y'all using? Wheat bread or white bread?
White bread, though, the plain old bread.
Okay.
The one I probably was called the Wonder Bread,
Oh, okay. All right.
but it was just plain, white bread that my dad used to, show me and show us. I should say, me and my brother. We would ball, take a piece and we ball it up, make it like a ball, and
Right.
we will hook it on to the hook.
Right.
There was a hook that looked like a J hook or whatever,
Right.
and that's how we learned. So that's how we started. I mean, it was an adventure, if you will, because as kids, being able to catch a fish, was exciting.
Right.
So, but yeah, my dad, introduced us to it, and you know, it was just nice. It was nice to just be out there, with my dad because I was a daddy's girl.
That's awesome. I didn't have those childhood experiences fishing with my dad or my mom. They wasn't into
Hmm.
fishing. I got into fishing really as an adult. As an adult.
Hmm.
Yeah. I mean, when I first went fishing, it probably was in the early 2000s or the late 90s. A buddy of mine
Hmm.
had a boat and we went fishing, but we didn't know what we was doing. I remember we went fishing on his boat, and then I can remember one time I went fishing because my partner used to work as a bridge tender. And so we used to
Hmm.
go to his bridge tender house thing, if you will, and fish off the rocks. And I remember catching a tarpon. I didn't know what it was at the time, but later on I came to find out it was a tarpon, because of
Hmm.
my the the experience I have, gained over the years of fishing. I, come to realization that that was a tarpon. It was flapping all on the rocks, big old tarpon. But yeah, I
Hmm.
didn't I didn't have those childhood experiences, fishing. I come to fish as an adult and I appreciate it. I mean, I don't love it. I like it. I like it a lot. So I have another question for you. Some of your
Okay.
most memorable fishing moments. Can you, I mean, from childhood to now, do you have any memorable fishing moments that come to mind?
Well, I can say that I do. Honestly, every opportunity that I'm out now, primarily with you on the boat, is memorable, um, because you have it, exposed me to a lot of firsts. So, as a child, I will have to say what stands out outside of just going with my dad or what have you. And let me say this too: I was going, my dad would take us or what have you. Primarily, he would take us, because he didn't want us to tear up the house.
Right, right.
So, no, it wasn't no, kind of like plan thing of, okay, let's just do something. It was just, no, you all coming too, because he was going to be gone a while. And primarily, it was not just my dad, it was my grandmother. So it was my grandmother, my dad, me, and my brother.
So did y'all used to fish
Um,
from sun up to sundown or
yes, we would be out there to the people's school all day
wow.
to the late evening. And so, of course, we kids, so easily bored.
Right.
And so we used to be running all up. We used to be all up in the University of Miami classrooms and getting into stuff and doing stuff. Yeah, and just like kids,
Right.
because, again, they would sit out there literally on their buckets all day,
And just fish, telling
all
fish
day.
story and catching fish.
But sometimes they just quiet,
Yeah,
just
yeah,
quiet.
yeah. In the moment, enjoying that experience. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Right. Just sitting out there. But kids, daddy, we ain't trying to sit out there and be quiet.
Right. Yeah. Some of the buddies,
We get
some of the buddies I fish with, they can't keep quiet. They want to talk the
right. I mean,
whole experience. And I don't say too much. This right here is a challenge for me to be doing this, but yeah, I can appreciate those quiet times just sitting out on a lake or sitting out in the ocean, got your rod, got your line in the water and just, taking in that whole moment in fishing, pretty much
right,
fishing. We going
right,
out to fish, we ain't going out there to catch and we hoping for a catch, but the experience
right,
is the fishing, you know.
right. So
The
yeah, so
catching is the reward.
right. But yeah, as kids, we were kids, so we
Right,
easily got bored, and we would just be up in the school, in the university, you know, in classes and bothering stuff. We ain't have no business bothering and doing stuff. But so I would have to say one memorable um, moment I can remember as a child is my dad and mom like screaming and saying, "Don't get too close to the water." So some of those fish creeks, if you will, you get too close, you can actually, because I was clumsy too. So, I can find myself over into the water. And so it was always this thing about me not getting too close to the water. And it
right,
was one time I actually got too close. And I just remember like shouts of, get away from the edge of the water or what have you,
right,
because they didn't want me to kind of like fall in. And so I just, I think from there, it just, caused me to, be okay with it, but I'm good with it either way. But as I, of course, matured, honestly, when we got married, you introduced me to, actually fishing on the boat. You gave me that whole boat experience and all of that.
right.
So I'm grateful and I appreciate that. So honestly, I don't have one set moment, memorable moment. I have several memorable moments because you exposed me to them.
Well, I appreciate that.
And
Yeah, I appreciate
yes,
that. Yeah, you my fishing partner. I enjoy fishing with you more than I enjoy fishing with them
you know,
other
and
guys. I
so
was looking for my beep thing. But
yeah,
no, I enjoy fishing with all the guys I fish with, really good guys. And I appreciate them and I appreciate you.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
but I got a question. I have another question for you. So I know you're not really an avid fishing woman, but
Mm-mm.
what do you love most about fishing?
Honestly, it's being my number one reason, straight talk, is being out there with you on the water.
Right.
I say that because again, I'm not a, a pro fisher or whatever, however you want to, describe it, angler or whatever. I'm
Right.
not one
You
of
just
those.
fish.
I just I just fish.
You're not considered a beginner, or intermediate, or pro. You just fish, and that's all
I
right.
don't sit in other classes. I'm not
No,
in the class.
you just fish
No
because
class.
it seems like every time we do go fishing, you need help with the worm, putting the worm on your hook.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, but then after a while, you get it. You start picking them up on. You start getting them yourself. That's every time. It's like
Right.
she not necessarily familiarize herself with the bait. I don't, the word is escaping me, but like, let's say we'll go fishing today. She need help with putting the worm on her hook. If we go fishing the next day, she need help with putting the worm on. But then after a couple of, I guess she'd look at me and see that I'm busy. Then all of a sudden she put it on herself. But yeah, it ain't like,
Yeah.
it ain't like if you show me how to put my worm on my hook today, tomorrow I'd be able to, and the next day I'd be able to do it on my own. No, she need help every time. Every
Yeah.
time.
It's honestly it's just helping me too. And I'm sorry to cut you, but just want to mention this. Part of it is allowing me to become comfortable with touching it.
Right. That's the
I'm,
process.
yeah, that whole worm thing, and yeah, I'm not a total fan. I get it though, but not a fan of touching it, touching the worms.
Yeah. Or the
So yeah,
crickets,
so or the crickets.
or the shrimp, or the dead
Shrimp is
fish,
a little,
or the
yeah,
cut
the
bait.
shrimp,
Because we do both.
yeah, right.
You've been out there to the fresh water with me, to the salt water with me. But I prefer to take her out. I mean, any one of them can be dangerous. Thank God we haven't experienced any dangerous moments out on the water. But I prefer to take my wife
Thank
out on
God.
the freshwater side. The ocean side, I mean, people know the ocean can be kind of, and I have been out on a lake and that thing was looking like an ocean. But I prefer to take my wife
Mhm.
out on the lakeside one. But she has been out on a, in the bay and out in the ocean. When I was doing my little
Yep,
diving thing, you was out there.
yep,
You went out there
yep,
with me 2 or 3 times when I was in the water diving.
yep.
Yeah. So yes, yeah,
And the boat was
she has,
rocking.
yeah. So she has her own story to share. She fished. She got her own rod. I purchased it. I gave it to her. It was my rod. It's a pink rod. And I do fish with pink rods. I love all colors. So, yep, you all are listening to David. I'm finna call our other. I'm finna call,
No,
I'm finna
because
call
we
out our
do
other channel.
podcast.
Because We Fish podcast. Hello, somebody. You are listening to the Because We Fish podcast. So I really appreciate you joining me. I'm gonna let you go because I know you got some things you want to do, and it is Super Bowl Sunday. I'm about to get ready to clean that chicken up. Well, I already cleaned the chicken up. I got it in a brine. I'm gonna fry up
But
some
if I can
chicken.
say this
Yeah, go ahead.
right
I'm
quick,
sorry. Continue.
I'm sorry before you end.
Because We Fish
Thank you
podcast.
for inquiring of not even an amateur, or asking not even an amateur for their input as far as fishing is concerned, because to so many, it can be, to ask me, it can be like a boring thing, or or what have you. But being interested in hearing how I got started, or even hearing, do I have any memorable moments or what have you. First of all, it does mean a lot, and I think too, even for the
Right.
listeners, for husbands who have wives, because you have wives who don't go at all with their husbands,
Right.
because it may not be their thing, or they may not be comfortable enough.
Right.
And then of course you got some wives who can handle their own, and are just as good at fishing as some men. Not that they're in competition, but you understand what I'm saying. So, me, just kind of like still being a student to it. But I honestly just really enjoy being out there with you because I know that it's definitely a hobby that you enjoy. And so I enjoy seeing you enjoy life, enjoy yourself, and, sitting out there, just like you say, just on the water, it's peaceful. Um, and just being out there, I do like to see, because I'm a bobble girl, I'm not that skilled. Whereas, what's the type of fishing, BB, when you just um you don't fish with the bobble, you just
Tight lining.
okay,
I think
and
I think we all like to see that bobber go down. It's just I
yeah,
can't I
so
can't even
I'm
call
a
out what
bobble
it
girl.
is. I
Yeah,
love seeing that bobber going down. It's just
yeah.
something
So I'm
about
a bobble girl.
seeing that bobber going down. Yeah, we know it's a fish on the
Yeah.
line, but it's just something about seeing that bobber going down. So
But see,
yeah,
it's no bobble when you go catch those big fish. Like when you go on
yeah,
those fishing,
you can. I mean,
you
not
know.
not necessarily a big fish, but yeah. I mean, some you go trout fishing. You can have the guys know what they use to trout fish, that popping cork, if you will. That thing will go down. In certain species, they sell big corks for big fishes now. In certain fishes inshore where you can use a bobber and
Oh,
that bobber will go down. Yeah. I've recently seen people
okay.
using bobber to fish for sheephead. So yeah,
Uh,
it's certain fishes, species of fish that you can use the bobber on salt water. Yep. Yep.
oh, okay,
Yep.
okay.
But
So see, I
you
didn't know
primarily,
that.
yeah, you primarily see it in the freshwater world. You see the bobbers being used, more. Yep. But you are listening
Okay.
to and you are watching the Because We Fish podcast. And I have my wife as a guest, Miss Fatima. Miss Fatima. And we so appreciate you joining us on a Because We Fish podcast.
Yay. Thank
Yep.
you.
Mhm.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yep. So, again, I'm gonna go. You have anything else to close out with us, or
No, I appreciate it. Thank you. And thank you for just a wonderful podcast. Encouraging, individuals, to go fishing, drop those lines.
yep. So I got her on the line because I couldn't use my partner. He busy. Nah, but she did have a story to tell. She's been fishing before I have. She has. I mean, if you didn't hear it, she got a great testimony of fishing with her dad and her grandma in her early days. Going out to the University of Miami and fishing in a pond and catching bluegills and mullets and
Brim. They call them brim. I don't know if it's the same.
it's the same thing. Yeah, the
Oh, okay.
brims and the
Mullet.
catfish and the mullets and stuff like that, and they fishing and have a great testimony and a great story to tell about her early days of fishing and running around the school, knocking on the dorms door, and all that good stuff. But anyway, we so appreciate you joining us. God bless. Have a great day, and I'll be talking to you soon, or I see you soon as you come out the room. I see you soon as you come out the room.
Ah,
All right.
bye. Thank you.
All right. Thanks for calling in. Thanks for joining.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
So that concludes today's episode of the Because We Fish podcast. I appreciate everyone that joined. We had one or two fish on the hook, but we couldn't reel them in, but that's all right. So go back and watch the complete episode of the Because We Fish podcast. And today we had on a boat with us Fatima, Miss Fatima. I so appreciate you all. Have a great day. Excuse me. God bless.